Whoa, we're back with more Bleach Soul Resonance, and we've got more news on news on news that is just insane. And this will be coming, by the time this video is up, it'll already be out, but I am recording this prior to that. This will be coming for our global reset, where Gikku says people who wanted more content are getting some pretty much every week at this point. Last week it was permanent tower, now we have 30 resetting tower floors every 3 weeks. BSR truly is cooking, excited for how they will handle full-on new game modes, and as of converting, this is something like 2100 energy every 3 weeks, which is around 35 or 36 stamina pills every 3 weeks. This is Bleach Soul Resonance. We are Bleach Soul Resonance. We are Dokkan Battle. That is insane. I mean, and I do have a post here that, response here, which has said, this is exactly the way you handle alleviating the stamina issues. Give resources through non-stamina gated content that you still have to actually play. Buff characters like Kenpachi who are difficult to build. The devs have actually been handling every problem so well, man. And if for some reason you don't agree, if for some reason you think this is like just glazing or totally out of order, I again just say play. I was going to say play any IP gacha and compare, but play almost any gacha and compare. Man, the Bleach Soul Resonant dev team has their finger on the pulse. I like, barring like revenue splits or whatever, like I have no interest in disparaging or like looking at revenue and being like, oh, so sad, or like, the game EOS or what. Like, this is remarkable. This is every single patch, every single week, every single 7 days, we get like actually good news. And it's not like, oh, we get good news, we got 3 stamina pills in the inbox. We get like game defining news. These dudes must be in the shop just absolutely grinding it out. They must be in that workshop going crazy. Do they get to see their families? Because my God, these boys are on it. These boys and girls are on it. Like, God damn. I have not seen as quick of a response to anything as I have with Bleach Soul Resonance. Let's take it in game. So one of the things we'll be sort of lacking on this week around is Jade. We won't be getting much Jade for this week, which is fine, I think. I don't think that's a problem. We are certainly alleviating one of the biggest issues with the game as it currently stands. So, to still be at, floating tickets, to still be at, thousands of Jade over where I started, I'm completely fine with that. This is one of those things that long term is going to save me more Jade than it costs me, particularly because, as we see here, I am back to saving stamina again. Thank you. I am back to saving stamina again. I actually just got on for the first time today, so I am overcapped because I just collected my deploys, which gave me, a bit of stamina for the free ski. But, whoo boy, we are finally collecting mats again. We're getting some experience again. We're ready for whoever comes out next. And I mean, we still have like weeks of double drop to get to. We're not really working on any characters whatsoever. My next thing is probably going to be grabbing some of the Art of Slash tomes. And yeah, I haven't even decided who I'm working at next. Everything is looking just so up. I think that maybe once we get the frenzy, whatever it is, the fury mode for Kenpachi, I still do want to look into maybe raising the attack percent jewel here, or I guess gear piece here. Maybe we could switch out the ailment damage bonus here for something, and find a little bit more damage through more just flat crit rate or crit damage. But beyond that, I mean, like, he's done, which means that we should move on to maybe tying up loose ends. It might be finally time to circle back on my Toshido and get him actually geared, because he is just woefully geared. I mean, he is on the struggle list of struggle gear, even as a character who is, very much free to play, friendly. I could do Yoruichi. I mean, Yoruichi could be a character with 40,000 power if I gave her any level 30 gear pieces. And this, if you're wondering like what part, what am I doing here? It's mostly going to be like a recap of where my account is. As you can see, I'm level 73. I've got the Kenpachi set up here, at least until we get the title for him, or whatever it is, because I do want that. Once we go in here, I guess we're gonna, is this the banner? Achievement nameplate, yeah. So once we get that done, we can't get it yet because the battle fever, or whatever it is not actually accessible. So full fury isn't accessible. So we've got Yachiru here holding down the fort for her bestie Kenpachi, and we're just sort of waiting for the next slot of content, which looks to be in about an hour and 50 minutes as of recording this video. As for my scores on things, I can't check my scores here, right? They're all reset, yeah. My scores on things, I'm at top 6.6% after, days and days of people grinding it out here, which is, I'd call that pretty reasonable. How close am I to like a top 100 spot? 4,000 away from a 100 spot. I mean, you have to remember that like characters like my strike team are just like so woefully struggle. I mean, I see a lot of people are actually using Momo for this. Maybe I should have done something like that. A lot of them use their spirit teams for this, and someone actually used their solo Aizen for this. It's very funny. So maybe that would have been something to consider, is just using my spirit team for this. But without dupes, it's probably really difficult to swing that. So you can see I'm just barely off, and I think if I hit this 4,000 here, we might have actually been able to continue to place in the top 100. So not bad at all, considering we're completely free to play account. I would say. In terms of the trial floors, you can see I have 67 done. I am at trial 17 here, which is pretty scuffed. I mean, I did this manually myself, and it was still a bit difficult, so I don't know if I'll be able to crack that one yet. And here, I think I could maybe get through this one. I don't know. I think that, like, Gein's damage alongside Tosin, who just happens to be, like, a more fitting character, one of the things I'd say is that until we get our tactics character for maybe Slash soon with Nelel, this tower seems to be pretty difficult, just because my Aizen, he's not a B6 Aizen with all the DPS dupes. So it would be nice to have an on color unit for this, like I do here. I do think if my Tosin was a little stronger, this could be easily attainable. I might switch over to maybe farming Yotahara sets now. One reason Yotahara, and if this is just like some quick like advice for you, if you're ever like, well, I'm done farming for Kenpachi, what do I move on to? I would almost always say that farming a Yotahara set is just really powerful. The entire team gets damage after with a 3-piece effect for 25 seconds, and so it makes it the de facto support set, and it just means that you won't really have to worry about like set specific stuff. Like Kenpachi has this cleave effect on his ability, and to BSR's credit, maybe Nelel comes out and has cleave or some other similar sever maybe effects on her abilities. I'm trying not to look at the leaks too heavily, and we're just going to see what comes out when she actually does come out, rather than try to anticipate every single time. But with the bonus gears we're getting from the new tower, you could probably get away with dumping it after you're done building your characters, dumping it into Yotahara set, because it will always retain its value, right? Whereas a lot of the other sets really, really do not, and I think are just more of a ploy for like specificity. You need them for whenever you actually need them is when you need them. You don't need them all the time. But yeah, outside of that, I'm still just stacking up materials. We'll probably be going into this soon, because again, we're anticipating that Nell is going to be a Slash character. So I'm actually going to spend 140 there, and then I'm going to come over here into the academy training, and I'm going to spend the remainder here. at least until my dailies and the like reset in a few hours. So let's go ahead and grab that. That'll float me. That is what I do with a lot of my stamina as it stands right now. What I typically do is that my stamina is for rebuilding my resources for the next character, and my nourishers almost always are for gear farming. That way I kind of always know that I have like this much remaining for gear farming versus, you know, this much remaining for, you know, just raising the characters. And because gear is usually very specific, it's easy to just get the things that are static strength. And if you remember, when my Kenpachi first came out, I was actually just running him on the Ikaku gear that I had left. Not because it was good gear for him, but because he'll still get stats from it. He won't get the, you know, ready to go ability, but he'll get the stats that he needs to at least be playable. I mean, he was sitting at like 20,000, 28,000, 29,000, maybe even 30,000 when I put that gear on him. And he was good enough to just like use for the time being. That way I could spend the next week, you know, 2 weeks farming the actual gear that he needs, rather than, you know, I have to farm the gear that is our RNG, and then I can level up his skills and everything. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I would always say that when you're in between characters, you're in between, you know, builds, you're done gearing for a while, I would suggest just sort of accumulating the resources to actually raise the characters. That way, you know, my Kenpachi, the moment he came out, was level 100. You know, level 100 character, level 100 weapon. Whereas a lot of people, they probably had to get this, then they had to get this, because this is an XP that you run out of really quickly and forget to build up. You have the actual con wall. So really looking forward to these changes. That's the account update for now. We are, again, level 73. So if you're free to play, level 73 right about now is what you could be at if you've been playing every day without missing a beat and spending your stamina where it is applicable. But yeah, really cool update. I cannot wait to actually get in there and finally have Khan. Oh my god, did I not say Khan is like such a wall? And for them to just be giving out like millions of it, I believe, like, oh my god, 21,000, or not 21,000, sorry, 2,100 stamina every 3 weeks, 36 nourishers essentially in the span of that trial tower period is so good for gearing our characters. And remember, that's going to be, we're going to get it as a consumable, which means that we don't have to pick a thing to farm. We can just use it when we actually want the characters. That is so good. That is so insanely good. I cannot wait. So yeah, I've been Lone. Like if you like the video, subscribe to join the club. We all gonna make it, and peace.